Right. Well, I'm sure that some of you are sitting there thinking, oh crumbs, well what can I do? Well, I'm going to try and explain what you can do from the experiences I've had myself. Getting on a bus, oh, it isn't easy. Very often the conductors, the drivers, we don't have conductors now, they don't put the platforms down so you can get in the bus properly. Or when you've got in the bus and you're trying to get the seat near the front, you can't, because there's lots of young people there with prams and you can't get through. There's all sorts of little things like that. Well, the other day I got on one of those sorts of buses and I was just trying to get out of the bus. Well, no, the driver didn't put the platform down, but he didn't need to, because there was a very kind gentleman that came out of the middle of nowhere and he said, "It's all right, I'll give you a hand as you get off the bus." Now, I never saw him again, but that was the sort of thing that makes a difference. You see, you don't need somebody to invite you back to lunch or take you out for a cut in the car all day or do something. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a little bit of thought. Help somebody off the bus. Another thing, when you're queuing up to buy something, well, it might just be a problem if there is quite a queue and you're standing there with a crutch or you're struggling to stand, or even if you're in a wheelchair, it might be difficult to have to wait for a long time and you don't really have very much to buy. Well, just occasionally somebody will come up to me and say, "It's okay, you can go in front if you like." Now that's the kind of natural support I'm talking about. I'm also talking about the kind of support when somebody actually just says, "Oh, it's a nice day, isn't it?" And they just makes a comment. You don't really have to worry about whether the person can speak, you know. Even if you just speak to them, they know. So if you can just make those efforts, just that little bit of effort, going back to that lady that was invited into that club, just that little bit of effort to say hi. If you don't feel you want to do it on your own, get a group of people, 2 or 3 people together. You know, I hope nobody minds me mentioning Lifeway, but that's a group we have on Sunday morning for people with disability, but mainly learning disability. You know, they're a great bunch of people. And it's great to be amongst them because they have so much to offer. But that's only for an hour. And after that hour they come out and they go out there again. Just a word would be a good idea. Nowadays, there's cutbacks everywhere, and often a lot of people that would have had support don't have it anymore, and you might see them wandering around the street. Why not take one in for coffee? Does it cost that much? Just half an hour. Those are the kinds of things we need. You know, it made me feel so much better the other day when I went up to look at something and I just stood there and said, "My gosh, that's beautiful. What a beautiful sight over there." And somebody came up and said, "Yes, it is, isn't it? It's really nice." that really made it for me. You see, that morning I was in an awful lot of pain and I felt really unhappy. That kind of day when you think, oh crumbs, I can't go on a minute longer. But after that conversation for a minute, that made me feel a heck of a lot better. So please, give a bit of your time. It doesn't take much. You could be making an awful lot of difference, and I know you can.
Thank you. And I'd like to just mention again how beneficial this can be on both sides. It's really important to keep that in mind, that it's not about charity. It's about recognizing that each of these people has something to offer. They all have very unique gifts, just the same as you or I do. It just might take a little bit more work to find out what those gifts are and to give them the confidence to share those gifts. So just to summarize, everyone has the power to help people become more fully included in their community. Absolutely everyone. And I know that the benefits of that will be felt on both sides of the coin. Thank you very much.